Hi, I'm Catherine and I'm editor of Reader's Digest magazine, and I'm here to welcome you to the June issue of the magazine. It's this one here that's just out now with Andy Murray on the cover. And a great part about this magazine is the mix we get of illustrations and cartoons and photography. And I'm very pleased to say that today I've got a special guest with me, and it's David Humphries. Hello, David.
Hi, Catherine.
And David is one of our illustrators. You'll see his work often in our health pages here. This is a really beautiful illustration that David has done for the June issue. So, what is illustration? Yeah, it's an open
Illustration.
question.
Most people know what cartoons are,
Yeah.
and most people know what painters do. Illustration's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Illustration's an applied art. Hugh and Martin, who I tend to work with.
Yeah. Our designers.
Yeah. They'll just send through exactly what you can read in the magazine. So I'll jump on the internet, onto Google and different websites, and I'll have a big style sheet up. So I'll just drag stuff onto a document that's got anything to do with the brain or thinking, or just sometimes it's just a mood or some colours which get the mood of the article over. I mean, I've got a bigger version of it here which might be slightly easier to see.
Yeah.
So it was an urban myth that we only use 10% of our brains.
Yeah, we use much
so,
more.
You know, most people recognise this blue shape as a brain, where the brain should be, and then the actual brain being approximately 10%. But then there's other things. I mean, most people know Rodin's the thinker, and just as you start playing around with the shapes.
But what about, just let us see, you've brought with you these lovely little...
I've just brought a couple of things in today just to show you. I mean, it's a very diverse job, really. These are called thaumatropes.
Thaumatropes, okay.
Yeah, and as you twiddle them, they combine.
And so you get the
and
cat.
then you get the thing.
The cat goes into the cage.
Yeah.
It's lovely, actually.
So I did a little, there's a little box set with 5. Again, there's, the company was called Curious.
So what about if anything goes wrong, what do you do then? Do you just keep refining it, or do you start again, or...?
I do work for The Guardian still, back page on the sport. Russell Brand used to write for The Guardian, and you know, he used to leave everything to the last minute. And the paper goes to press 7:30, and they do a later edition as well, but 7:30's the absolute deadline. It needs to be out the door, it needs to be on the printers, it goes on the press. And you spend half the afternoon ringing up the sports desk saying, has he filed copy? Can you give me an idea what it's all about? Yeah. And
so you're just sitting waiting.
You just sit and waiting, and the worst time it was 20
ticking.
minutes. So this thing arrived at 7:10, and I mean that includes reading the article through as well, which ironically started with lamenting the fact that nobody had reminded him he had to do his regular column.
So were you able to come up with something in that time, and colour it in and?
Oh yeah, colour it in, put the numbers on.
And just quickly, just tell me about this illustration that you've brought.
I'll put it on a white background because it makes it a little bit easier to see.
Yeah.
But this was a piece about Russia. Again, I could use anything Russian, so you can see a lot of different ideas in there.
Yeah.
So also there's 2 different sides to Russia. I mean, you've got the old Russia, the traditional Russia, and the communist state, which fairly recent in its history, really.
Exactly,
it's a very fleeting thing. It's in Russia's. So I'm just combining lots of different things really,
and
within
the Russian
that.
dolls, obviously.
And I entered this one for the V&A Illustration Awards, which is an annual thing to celebrate the best illustration. And this particular piece was shown in the V&A for a year.
It's really fantastic.
Yeah,
it's great.
Thank you very much.
So to see David's illustrations and lots more fantastic stuff, then check out our June issue, which is out now. Thank you.